Sampling. Sampling is the process of selecting a few elements from the whole group population. This can be done in a number of ways, which are called as sampling procedure and strategies. Or, it is the process of selecting units, example, people, organizations, from a population of interest so that by studying the sample researcher may fairly generalize their results back to the population from which they were chosen. In sampling, population means the whole group, example, the class or group of all teachers, a group of all students from which we select a smaller group of samples. A sample is a collection of part or subject of the objects or individuals of the population, which is selected for the research purpose. It is the small group, example, group of students, or of teachers selected through certain procedure from the larger group, i.e., population. Sometimes the entire population will be small, and we can include the entire population in our study, which is called a census study. Sampling saves the time and trouble of questioning 100% of the population. In designing the sample, the researcher must consider the three things: sampling frame, selection of sample items, and sample size. Sampling frame. Sampling frame is the list of items in the unit from which the samples are to be drawn. Selection of sample. For selection of samples, probability and non-probability methods can be used. Sample size. The sample should be large enough to be representative of population yet not too large. Sample size means the samples, i.e., if 30 students were selected, the sample size is 30 itself. Steps to go through while conducting sampling. Step 1. Clearly define target people. Step 2. Select sampling frame. Step 3. Choose sampling technique. Step 4. Determine sample size. Step 5. Collect data. Step 6. Assess response rate. In general, sampling techniques can be divided into two types: probability or random sampling, non-probability or non-random sampling. Probability sampling can be further divided into following types: simple random sampling, stratified random sampling, cluster sampling, and non-probability can also be divided into following subtypes: quota sampling, accidental sampling, convenience sampling, judgmental sampling, expert sampling, snowball sampling.